guys, it is Brooke from the Vintage Gardener, and I am sitting on my pink cameo back Victorian couch that I got from Facebook Marketplace, and I'm here to tell you about Garden 2021. I know. Yeah, it's August 18th to be precise. Yeah, I know, and I'm already planning the next year's garden, and I'm doing more than planning. I'm actually starting Garden 2021. So what had happened was I had finalized my garden plan and I scaled back. I was planning on doing the potager garden plus a parterre garden, and given the size of both of those, I realized, well, actually I changed the dimensions on both of them, and I realized that I probably, since they're both big, and so I was like, you know what, let me just do one. So I'm going to do with parterre garden. So originally it was supposed to be like 36 by 36, but now it is 36 by 60. The parterre garden is now like 80 by 54, and so that's going to wait till a different year because I can't be adding like, 5,000 square feet of garden in a single year by myself because it's just me. So I'm just going to do the parterre garden. I do have to move part of the vegetable garden, but I'm going to do an in-ground bed for next year because that's still going to be temporary to like and square away the parterre garden, and that needs a lot more work than I thought it was going to. That's why I'm holding off and doing it. The other thing is that I'm building a greenhouse, which I've already ordered it, and I will do a video on that. And so yes, I'm building it, and you'll see why. This one's going to be, I think this is going to, at the end of the day, it's going to be a much better, it's going to be stronger. It's going to, I won't have to worry about it flipping over because I'll be anchoring it to some like railroad ties, and with the railroad ties, I'll actually secure those with spikes into the ground. And it'll be longer lasting, but like I said, I'll do that in a different video. So my projects for this fall were to, number one, get at least the framing done on the greenhouse. Given the expense of it, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, well, I'll leave that for another video. I won't go into it in this one because I don't want to make this one too long. But one of the things I was going to do for the parterre garden, which is right outside the house, is that I needed water. Because right now I have a spigot on the side of the house that's currently doing the driveway beds plus the vegetable garden, and what else? Actually, you know what? Okay, so it's, I think, one, because I have a four-way splitter. So one is doing the driveway beds, two are doing the vegetable garden, and then I had an open one so I could have a sprayer so that if I need to give water, I could just do it that way. So there's no way for me with what I have to water the parterre garden unless I did overhead sprinkling, like a sprinkler, which I don't want to do because I can see this year with using the irrigation tubing, the drip tubing, the way it's cut down on the fungal diseases, and so I'm not interested in going back to that. And not to mention, if I do it that way and then, anyway, it's just, I can't do it that way. And so I got some estimates on adding spigot heads, and I'm going to that'll be the next video that I post probably. Actually, you know what? I'm going to post the parterre garden design first and then do the spigots because you kind of need to see the design so you can understand the thing about the spigots. And so I was planning to do this come March, and I said, well, in the fall, in addition to working on the greenhouse, I'll get a sod cutter and I'll remove the grass. Well, that's not going to work. And that's not going to work because of yours truly, because, you have to know yourself. And what's the phrase? To thy own self be true. And you know what? If I remove all the grass, I know me. I'm not just going to leave well enough alone. When I have 2,100 square feet of grass removed, which God help me, like how am I supposed to actually take all that grass out? Because I was going to use the sod in the backyard, but now I'm just like, dude, that's a lot. I mean, removing the grass from the driveway beds I was sore for like a a couple of months doing that. And now we're talking about an area that's 3 times the size of the driveway beds. And I'm like, you know, I don't think this is gonna work. Another thing is that if I do get that sod cutter, as soon as I have that blank space, I know fully well I'm going to start putting in paths, you know, and that's a problem. And the reason it's a problem is because all the estimates that I have for adding spigots were based upon the fact that it's a blank slate out there. If I start putting in pathways, I saw a couple of fountains that I'd like to get. Once I start putting stuff in there, now they have to work around the object, so it's going to make the cost go up, and probably it's going to double the price. I mean, let's just be honest, that's probably how it's going to go. And so that's just not going to work. I mean, I don't want to just increase prices just because I'm impatient. And it's not so much that I'm impatient, it's just that, you know, I try to use the time that I have. So if, you know, fall is the perfect time to start getting stuff done. In the past, there was a lot of garden stuff that I was doing for the next year in the fall, and I'm going to continue to do the same thing. So what I think it's going to be better to do is have the water run to the front yard now. And then what's going to happen is, to get rid of the grass, I'm going to change plans. I realize that Lowe's has contractor plastic that it's like you can get in widths of 10 or 20, and they have like 100-yard sheets of it. And I'm going to just smother the grass. I'm going to smother the grass. And, you know, because I'm starting now, the good thing about that is that if in the summer, obviously it takes shorter because of the heat. I still have plenty of heat left, but it's going to be 6 months, you know, before I start peeling that stuff back. And so that'll be enough time to kill it good. And with the heat with the remaining heat of summer and fall, because our falls don't necessarily get cold all at once, we still do have some pretty warm days. It'll give, not only will it kill the grass, it'll also the heat will break down the grass, so it can kind of like turn it back into soil and kind of, you know, returning that to the soil, which is great because it's like kind of composting directly into the bed. And so, you know, as I get time, like for example, if I want to start putting in the gravel walkways, you know, I can take up those parts of the plastic and, you know, do the gravel and that sort of thing, you know, without inadvertently having like the grass rebound, the parts that haven't died rebound, or weeds start taking over. And so that way, come March, when I really start to set up the beds, once again, I can just remove the plastic from the beds that I'm setting up, and I can use like a tiller, because I'll have one by that point, to get out anything that's dead, and then I can just rake it out. And I think at that point it'll be a lot easier than trying to haul away 2,100 square feet of lawn, because that's gonna be that's gonna be difficult. And that way, you know, with some of the stuff that I'm growing, because I've already got my seed list. I already know where I'm going to be getting seeds from. Like for example, poppies. I think I know what I did wrong with certain ones. That's one of those things I'm going to start getting out into the landscaping much earlier than what I did. And that way I'll be set to go, because my concern is that, you know, putting me on the schedule for next year, there's going to be delays because of weather, because, you know, we can get sometimes snowstorms until April, and I don't want to be in a position where I'm trying to create a 2,100 square foot garden and I've now started, you know, a few thousand plants, you know, several thousand plants that I now got to get in. So that's just not going to work. So I'm trying to do this in measured, kind of trying to do it a little bit at a time. So I think with what I'm planning, this is what will it'll work best. Okay guys, so that's it. That's what's going on for 2021. So I'm just giving you the preview now. I'm letting you guys know because you'll probably on Instagram see photos of the work that's going to be starting in the next couple of weeks. And so I didn't want to forget to tell you guys, because I feel like sometimes with major projects I get halfway through it and realize, oh, by the way, I should have been keeping you guys apprised of this. So join me on my journey. This is going to be, I've never I mean, I had a garden in my last place. They were definitely much smaller. This will be really the biggest garden that I've ever done. My plan is to spend probably, I'm thinking 2 years. I think after the second year, I will have gotten far enough where I can go to the next section, but who knows, maybe it'll end up going a little bit longer, but I'm planning to spend at least two growing seasons just dealing with the parterre garden, trying to get it exactly the way I want. And so that's the plan, guys. So thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Also hit that notification bell so that you can be notified anytime I post something. In case you guys were not aware, I do have a podcast. It's the Vintage Gardener podcast. It is on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's on the Google playlist. And so I do some audio visual podcast where I kind of take myself as I'm doing the regular podcast. And so I'm trying to do it every 2 weeks. With the visual ones, because it does have to be edited to put some other stuff in there, it's probably going to get a little bit delayed. But with the regular podcast, you know, it's going to be on my webpage. It's also going to be on your podcast. You'll get it. On the podcast. And that's the podcast about opening